All right, and we're live. Just like that.
Not even a sound check tonight. It's just like, let's do it.
You know, when you do a podcast for as long as we have, you can kind of jump into this stuff.
Well, there's no prep.
As a pro.
It's not like there's planning beforehand, so don't.
You didn't get the outline that I sent about our topics for
I've
tonight?
got an outline since like the second month of like the first year.
Yeah, that was a good thing for a little bit, you know.
It definitely helped, but I like it better this way.
Thank you for watching / listening to Jaguars United live show. If we got to change the...
It looks like you sped up the scroll bar because it's like 10 times faster than it was to begin with.
Yeah, it does seem to be faster, but we had a bunch of people say that we should...
It was too slow.
Speed it up, so... I did a little impromptu show last night by myself just because I was feeling spicy.
Why not?
And I named the show The Jets Blow It.
Oh, God.
Because the Jets absolutely blew our chance at Trevor Lawrence yesterday. I don't know if you saw, but last play of the game, the Jets defensive coordinator sends an all-out blitz and loses the game.
And that guy's enjoying his job today, right?
He is enjoying himself, probably playing golf somewhere.
Exactly. Because
yeah.
It's bad if you get fired immediately the next morning.
Yeah.
Immediately.
But just like Kev Click is saying in the chat, he said Jets used Greg as a scapegoat. That's 100% correct.
So you think that was intentional?
Yes.
Okay.
Honestly, if the Jets wouldn't have fired Greg Williams, I think they would have penalized them in some way.
Why didn't they just let the Raiders walk in on that touchdown on the possession before that then?
Because I think the players were trying to win. I think the players were trying to win. It
finally came down to we're going to give you the worst play call we can, which is funny because I heard today that 252 times that exact situation has arose, and in the history of the NFL, nobody's ever run a blitz.
I can't believe.
Like, that should tell you something.
Yeah, I mean, it's pathetic at this point. Gavin Baker says, how about them Steelers? Steelers blew their game earlier today.
Really?
Yeah, they lost. Can't be losing.
Oh,
But,
I mean, they're, 10-1?
Yeah.
9-1?
I'm not
come on.
too worried about it. Zach Becker said, I had so much joy the Jets were going to win, and they had to ruin it. The way they lost literally left me speechless.
But did you? Because, I mean, the whole time I'm seeing that happen, and I'm thinking, like, the Jags are going to pull this out because that's what the Jags would do at this point. And it was very damn close. I mean, I couldn't enjoy the Jets almost losing because I knew the Jags were going to win. And it didn't work out either way. But
I was at a sports bar, so I was able to watch multiple games at one time.
Sure.
And I got to see the Jets absolutely blow it. And I was rooting more for the Jets than I was the Jaguars. Obviously, I wanted us to lose, which we did. I mean, it was good, and we'll get to that in a second. But, man, the Jets, like, ripped my heart out. Like, there was our shot at Trevor Lawrence. Like, it was right there. All the Jets had to do was not give up a Hail Mary, and the Jets obviously tanked and threw the game. Like, I legit think the NFL should step in and penalize them. Like, I'm obviously not going to take away the first-round pick, but they should take away, like, a second-round pick. 'Cause that was so blatant.
How could you penalize them?
It was blatant. It was just blatantly obvious.
Is there a rule that says you can't suck?
No, there is no rule, but then where does it end? Like, at what point does the NFL step in?
Yeah, but that happens so infrequently. I mean, I think the Colts, like, when they got Luck, should have been penalized. I mean, that's the only other time I can think of it in the past 15 years that that's actually happened.
So where do we draw the line? Like, let's say the Jets, at the snap, let's say they all just stood still. Would they be penalized then?
Yeah.
Like, where do you draw the line? Okay, so what if they're what if they jog half speed? Like, where's the line? Because
yeah, that's your point.
It's so blatant that they tanked that game. I mean,
so you penalize the Jets for being smart when the Jags are freaking stupid?
You penalize the Jets for intentionally losing. That's all I can say. You want to start Jake Luton and intentionally lose? I'm cool with that.
Well, the Jets should have intentionally lost a little bit better is the problem. I mean, you can figure out plays earlier in the game to do that.
That's true.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
It was dumb. And that's why he got fired. I think, I mean, like, I don't know. They suck. And it doesn't matter. We'll talk about the Jags later, like you mentioned. But, I mean, the Jags are going to win a game in the next 3 or 4 games. How many left? 3?
Maybe. I mean, they are covering the spread every single week.
Every single game is like 3 points for the most part.
Besides the Steelers game. They're
different ball game.
They've covered the spread every game besides the Steelers.
And there's one game that sticks out like a sore thumb that we're going to win.
Which one's that?
Bears.
You think Nick Foles isn't going to come in and tear us up?
The Bears are horrible. They've been horrible. They were the worst 5-0 team in football history. And yeah, we're gonna win that game. I almost guaranteed at this point.
We're horrible too, and I
We
think
are?
we could win that game too, but hopefully we don't.
Hey, Glennon looked a little too good this past weekend.
That's what I'm saying. Like Glennon actually does give us the best chance to win.
He does, which is sad to say.
Like when he throws the ball, like he kind of has some zip behind it.
Plus, you got to figure he's got to be a little bitter against the Bears, other than the like
That's
$50 million he got. But
there's so much background drama heading into this game.
It's all over the
insane.
place.
Yeah. Charlie Boy says, "Finally, now I'm not bored at work." Joey, how do you feel about the firing of Dave Caldwell?
I mean, it was a long time coming. I mean, the whole problem I have with that is like it's the Jags be jagging. That's one of the sayings. And we decide to finally fire our main guy, our GM, when 4 other teams need a GM this year. We're going up against Washington. What? Houston. I mean,
Atlanta.
I mean,
Yeah.
the list goes
The
on and on.
Jets.
And yeah, we've got cap space. We've got obviously a lot of draft picks, but we're still Jacksonville, man. And so we're going to go up against everybody else in this race for a GM when we should have fired him 2, 3, 4 years ago. I mean, whatever. They got rid of him. I'm glad. I guess bottom line.
We were seconds away from Trevor Lawrence. God, it pisses me off. Like, it wouldn't matter who the GM is. I could be GM. If we bring Trevor Lawrence in here, we'd be fine.
Yeah.
Like, we were that close. And I like Justin Fields, but, man, most people agree that the gap between Fields and Lawrence is pretty significant. Dang, dude. We were so close, dude. Screw the Jets, man.
Yeah, I mean, F you.
As far as Dave Caldwell goes, yeah, I mean, obviously, I think we all agree it was way too late. Should have happened years ago. We probably could have avoided terrible picks like Taven Bryan and K'Lavon Chason, who K'Lavon played better last week, to be fair. I think he had like 5 pressures or maybe it was 7 pressures.
I don't think that's one of his worst picks of all time.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's true.
Yeah.
I mean, they get worse as you look into it, but Zach Becker says, "I knew the Jags would score the touchdown, but I figured they wouldn't get the 2-point conversion like usual. But once they got it, I started sweating."
Heck yeah. My point exactly. I'm listening to that and I'm like, 2-point conversion. Oh, great play. We actually converted this one for the first time ever on goal line. I mean, it was like this. It was destined to happen. But it doesn't matter. We're not getting Trevor Lawrence. At this point, we are not getting Trevor Lawrence. There's no way possible we are getting Trevor Lawrence. We need to get past that. We need to move on from that. And if we're going to talk quarterbacks at some point, I mean, we should. It ain't Trevor Lawrence.
Joey, we all need our own time to mourn, okay? You can't accelerate my mourning process, okay? If I need time, I
I've been
need
expecting
time.
this all year, though.
Okay.
I've been mourning since game 2.
Well, I'm emotional.
All right. I can see that.
Zach Becker says, "Do we have enough space between 2 and 3 in the draft order to win 1 and still pick at 2?" Yeah, we do. We can win 1 more game, I believe, because you look at the next teams, and they're actually like not that bad. I think the Cowboys are like the next team because the football team won today against the Steelers.
Saw that.
So, I mean, these bad teams are winning games. The Giants are rattle off win after win. The
Yeah.
Eagles look pretty bad. The Cowboys look pretty bad. The Chargers are looking pretty bad, but we can still win another game, and we can still get that second pick.
Yeah, it's
so,
pretty much guaranteed we're picking 2.
yeah, for
Which
sure.
is good to know. I mean, at this point, maybe they can actually watch some tape from somebody outside the Southeast and make some decisions.
It's going to be Justin Fields. There's no
Well, since you said that, I was an anti-Justin Fields guy up until this weekend. You want me to tell you why?
what changed. Yes.
Okay, I will tell you why. So, I mean, I've watched him play as much as I can because I've only played 3 games in 2 years, it seems like. But dude made a 70-yard run downfield.
That play.
Looked like
That
the fastest
play.
guy on the field.
That
But he
play.
made that play to block for his running back just because. They were up 28-0.
Yeah, I do like that play. You're
I mean,
right.
I don't care how he
That
throws the
sold
ball.
me.
I don't care how he runs the ball. I don't care what his Wonderlick is. That shows that dude is a football player.
Yeah, I agree.
So I like that.
That play impressed me too. Look, I like Justin Fields. I think he's going to be good. I just love Trevor Lawrence.
I do, but okay. What did I say right before that?
I know. Sorry. I'm trying, Joey.
We've got to move
I'm
on.
trying.
We are not
I'm
getting
trying.
Trevor Lawrence.
It's like when a girl dumps you and it takes you some time to
I
kind
know.
of get over it.
And I've tried. I've said, hey, we'll throw all the draft picks we have at the house, but the Jets are obviously, like you said, they're cheating at this point almost to get Trevor Lawrence. So they ain't taking draft picks. They want Trevor Lawrence.
I don't blame him.
Who does? I mean, Gase, crazy eyes. He's like, one eye's over here on Trevor. That's all that matters.
Gavin Baker says, "Do you think the Jets front office would be dumb enough to draft any quarterback over Lawrence?"
I mean, that's a pretty crappy franchise for the past 30+ years. So I mean, I don't think so, but maybe.
I think this is a good transition to potentially who the top GM candidates are. And Pro Football Network has a list.
I'm glad somebody does.
Yeah, seriously. Of the top NFL GMs available. And you have to think that the Jets are going to land one of these top guys as far as.
Is that because they have the number 1 pick and they're a big market?
Yeah, I think so too. And some people have said they're not going to fire their GM and they're going to keep their GM and just fire their coach. And that could happen, but I've seen GMs fired after a year. It happens in real life. And you got to also think about like the Falcons. They're also going to get a top-tier GM. And
that's the other one I couldn't think of. That's going to be the hard one to do.
The Lions. I think their GM was in their 5th year, and Patricia was in his 2nd or 3rd year. And the Texans are going to need a GM. They don't have a first-round pick, but I still think that job's attractive because they have Deshaun Watson and they have some talent around them. If they can re-sign Kenny Stills, that receiver room looks pretty good, in my opinion.
Hey, Will Fuller gets off the roids, man. That guy's been a beast.
Yeah,
I mean, he might not be quite the beast afterwards, but
a wild card. And a lot of people have like really fight me on this, and I get it, but like, is it outlandish to think that Jerry Jones next year is like, okay, I'm going to hire a GM? Like, he's getting kind of old. Like,
he's like 100.
Yeah, I mean, like, is it weird? I mean, because they need a new coach. Is it?
Yeah, but if he hires somebody, it's going to be like his cousin that like he can control like to every extent, but just doesn't have to be at work every day. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't think Jerry Jones is getting like he's just too egotistical for that.
Yeah, maybe. There's other opportunities out there is the bottom line, and so Pro Football Network's list of GMs goes in no particular order, but these are the guys.
Okay.
Mike Borgonzi, Kansas City Chiefs Director of Football Operations.
Lots of people are talking about him.
I mean, everyone that the Chiefs seem to have as their top guy's assistant seems to get a job somewhere else.
Well, how can they not? They've brought like all the right people in for the last 5 years, like all across the board.
Yeah. He was a scout for 11 years. He worked with one of the best general managers in the NFL, and Brett Veach, as well along as Chris Ballard during his time as Kansas City. And he's one of the best talent evaluators, and is really involved with the draft process. So that's a guy that you want.
I like it.
He also may have the ability to bring in Kansas City's offensive coordinator, Bieniemy, who's a guy that a lot of people want. So if that's a package deal, that could really work out for some team. Again, I think that's the best job available. The Jets, to me, seem like the best job available. I mean, you're in New York, you get Trevor Lawrence. I mean, that seems like they don't really have they have a good defense. I like some of the pieces they have out there.
They do have a crappy fan base, though.
Yeah, but you could say that about a lot of teams. People say about the Jaguars. So the next player on this list is Nick Caserio, New England Patriots Director of Player Personnel.
Boo.
You don't want anyone from New England?
Nope.
You've been burnt too many times?
No, everybody that leaves there sucks elsewhere. So
if the name sounds familiar, it may be because this was actually the guy that the Texans committed tampering in an effort to get back before backing off. So he's worked with the Patriots for 20 years, and he's been credited with building the Patriots roster into consistent Super Bowl contenders.
Well, they suck this year, so
they've been playing good recently, to be fair, with the talent they have.
Yeah, exactly, with the talent they have.
The next guy on this list is Glenn Cook. He's the Cleveland Browns Vice President of Player Personnel.
Really? He's third on the list? He's a Cleveland guy?
Third on the list. Yeah, I mean, the Browns have done well recently. I mean, the Browns are looking really good this year. They've built a really good team. I mean, they were nothing.
They're completely loaded, and they're probably going to be 500 this year.
No, they're not going to be 500.
Yeah.
I think they're already like 8-3. I mean, they're having a really good year this year.
There's no way the Browns are 8-3.
Dude, I'm telling you. Let's look it up here. Someone could probably tell us in the chat quicker, but they're second in the AFC North behind the Steelers with a record of. Sorry, Google is a little slow here. 9-3.
Wow.
9-3. 306 points for, 321 points against, which is not good.
So they've got to be winning the turnover ratio.
That's not good. They have won 4 games in a row, but
well, see, there you go. I paid attention 5 games ago.
Yeah, there you go. Let's try to get some of these comments here. We'll try to catch up on it. Shane Watson, Zach, yeah, we can win 1 game, but that ruins first pick for sure. Yep. Robert Adsert said Fields' last game looked better than Trevor's. Plus, Clemson's O-line is better than Ohio, So Fields is awesome. He goes on to say the Jags will trade Minshew, 2 firsts, and a second for the first pick and probably screw up and pick Trey Lance.
There's no way they do that for Trey, but if they could do that for Trevor, man, why not?
I don't think any team would trade Trevor Lawrence. I don't think there's any amount of trade value. We've talked about this a billion times.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen for sure. The next guy on the list, which I get a little weird when we start getting into the players or guys like this, Ian Cunningham, Philadelphia Eagles assistant director of player personnel.
They suck this year.
So he did spend his first 9 years in the NFL as a scout for the Ravens before
Well, that's
joining the
impressive.
Eagles in 2013. And here's the kicker: he's only 35.
Oof.
Okay,
He's 9 years in the league?
so it means he's been working for a while. He's worked
Wow.
along guys like Ozzie Newsome, Howie Roseman,
I'll take anybody from the Ravens, man. They're locked in.
and this article has this worth noting that Cunningham is one of the few minority GM candidates in the league.
But 35-year-old GM?
And he's the assistant director of player personnel. He's not even like
Come on. And he's number 4 on this list?
he is. He is.
See, exactly. Way to go, Jags. The year that we needed GM, jump into the pool, and everybody else does too.
Luke Dawson, Buffalo Bills assistant director of college scouting. He most recently
Assistant director.
assistant director of college scouting. He became a candidate for the Panthers opening in 2018, and he was previously the VP of player personnel in Tennessee, where he worked alongside Titans general manager Ruston Webster, managing day-to-day operations.
Somebody said by both of those programs. Tennessee's perennial, and Buffalo turned it around.
Ed Dodds, Indianapolis Colts assistant GM. That's a guy I'd be fine with.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I like what the Colts do. I like
Yep.
Chris Ballard. If the dude's been around Chris Ballard and the Colts, like they seem
They're
to be good all the time.
never down for long.
No, they're not.
No.
They really aren't. He was in Seattle. He was a part of the team that helped acquire Russell Wilson and got the Legion of Boom. Many people credit him directly for the Seahawks drafting these players.
Really? I like
According to
the
this
sound of
article.
that. He's number
Yeah.
5 on the list.
Yeah, he
This
is.
list sucks.
This seems like the guy I'd want.
that
to
should be
honest
like
with
number 2.
you. Yeah.
Because I like the first guy, but yeah, I don't know.
He's been influential in drafting several talented players for the Colts, including Quentin Nelson and Darius Leonard. He turned down an interview with the Browns last season. I like him. This is my guy.
I'm jumping on board.
This is my guy. Any guy that looks at the Browns job and was like, hell no.
Yeah, it's
That's
cursed.
who I want. That's who I want. Which leads us to the last candidate, John Dorsey,
Nah.
former Cleveland Browns general manager. We kind of know him
So
already.
why do you have 2 guys from the Browns, and the Browns have sucked for 30 years? Okay, they're good, decent this year. I mean, seriously, how's that happen? These guys have made all the decisions for that team or helped make those decisions, and they've sucked, but they're in the top 5.
Yeah.
I don't know these guys. I don't know how that role works.
Yeah.
But common sense says that's a horrible decision.
No, I would only win from the Browns. Ever.
Yeah,
I mean, if you've
ever.
ever been to Cleveland, I got family in Akron, which is like not
Oof.
that far from Cleveland. Really close, actually. Horrible, horrible city. Not talking about the people. The people are probably great. The city, the weather,
Yeah.
it's horrible. It's gray. It's raining. It's cold. Literally year round. Anyone who's like, oh yeah, let's go there. There's something wrong with you.
Yeah.
There's something wrong with you.
They do have the
I mean-
Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, though, right?
And they have the pro football. Oh, it's Canton. I guess it's kind of close, but
Eh.
yeah. Kev B says, "Oof, you guys wrecked the tank." Ha ha, referring to us not wearing tank tops.
Somebody had to call us out at some
Kev,
point.
bro, it's cold, man. Like
It's cold and
Yeah.
wet. I mean, like, I honestly thought about putting it on, but I was like, I'm gonna put it on underneath my hoodie. I'm like, no.
I asked Joey, like, how the temperature felt in my house because I haven't used the heat since last winter.
It's been chilly for a couple of days.
I don't know what to
that
do.
builds on you.
Yeah, I'm kind of hot to be honest with you, so I think I need to turn the air down. But this just goes to show. Maybe I take the beanie off of me. I don't know. Maybe
It's keeping it all in.
it's keeping
That's
it.
where,
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
37% of your body heat releases from your head.
There's like 2 weeks of beanie weather here in
Gotta rock it
Florida.
when you
I gotta
can.
do it. I got a
Yeah.
Jags beanie. I mean, there's not a lot of time to wear it.
I agree.
River Ross says, "I really hope we win in at least 6 games next year." Yeah, I do too.
That'd be a good goal.
6 would be where I'd want to be for sure.
I mean, you're starting a rookie quarterback, and you're gonna be starting other rookies.
There's some
obviously,
good pieces on this team, though, man.
there are.
Dude, Laviska Shenault is the real deal. The dude, 30.
If he can stay healthy.
Yeah, but I mean, he stayed relatively healthy this year. He didn't have like a career-ending
Dude,
injury.
I agree. I'm talking from a Jags fan
Yeah.
standpoint. We've got a real deal. He's going to go down with a fucking ACL. And
Yeah.
sorry for the language, kids. Sorry, I'm getting a little passionate here. He's going to go down with an ACL in like preseason if they have it next year. I mean, it's just the way it works. I agree. He's the real deal, though.
Combine him with James Robinson, like Colin Johnson looked really good last
He
week.
finally did. He got a look.
We have good young people in the secondary. I mean, think about when Sidney Jones and C.J. Henderson are both healthy.
Jones, I like a lot.
There's a lot of good safeties available in free agency. So you can upgrade your defensive backfield pretty easily if you spend just a little bit of money. You don't even got to spend a lot of money. Just a little bit of money, you can get some good guys.
I mean, we can probably fix everything in the draft except for left tackle and our pass rush, and that's going to be the problem.
Robert Adzert says, let's get Fields and Ohio's coaching staff to go with quarterback, his favorite receiver.
Oh, Urban Meyer's coming to the Jags?
Ryan Day. I'd rather have Ryan Day than Urban Meyer. Nah, that's not true, but it's more realistic.
Ryan Day's winning because of Urban Meyer.
That's true. Gavin Baker, do you think LaVisca is going to be able to stay healthy with his play style?
Jason says yes. That's a stupid question, Ryan. I just asked it, and I got shot down.
He seems to intentionally take really hard hits, but then proceeds to leave the game after the first half with an injury. All right, Gavin, I was trying to ignore that. Joey's on your side here. You're right. Okay, we'll see. I hope he does. He doesn't have a history of it, but he runs really aggressively, which I enjoy watching.
I mean, I'd much rather have him than Jefferson. Just saying. Actually, it's the opposite of that. That was sarcasm if you're not picking it up through the microphone. But, let's carry on.
We could have drafted Justin Jefferson
Yes.
over Clavon Chazon.
We could have.
I saw one tweet today that said we drafted the wrong LSU guy.
Very true. They got the next Randy Moss in Minnesota, and, whatever.
Brett E. said Dorsey drafted Mahomes and Mayfield. That's why he's a top 5 candidate. Yeah. Drafting Mahomes will immediately make you valuable.
Agreed.
Robert Adzert, he will last as long as a running back. Okay. That's actually a pretty good take. I like that. Predator. Oh, my God. I finally caught you guys live again. Predator.
Glad you're excited.
Yeah, Predator, you're the man. For sure.
So no question, just
a comment.
just pumped.
That's what, yeah.
All right, Pred.
Which we both are. Christian Charles, Bills tearing the Niners apart. Their OC is nice. Yeah, the Bills OC is probably not going to be an OC very long. The Niners defensive coordinator probably won't be a DC very long. So both those guys I expect to have head coaching jobs next year. But
True.
Shane Watson says, I'm in Michigan with a T-shirt on right now. It can't be that cold down there.
It's all about the humidity. That's what you guys don't understand about the cold here. Like, I go to Tennessee. We're in the mountains where my wife's family's from. It can be 40 degrees there, and I'm in shorts and, like a hoodie until I get too hot and I take it off. It can be 40 degrees here, and it's freezing, dude. The humidity messes that up, too. Not so about the weather, but different.
It's kind of cold here. I mean, we're in the 50s, Shane, and I know you're in Michigan. You're tough. You're built for tough. I know. But 50 degrees is cold for me.
50 here is like 25 in Michigan.
Yeah, and it's like windy. It's crap down here.
Yeah, it's like 30 mile hours. Blowing.
All right, I got to do for the podcast, when we post the podcast, we have to put in breaks for ads. So if you're listening to the podcast after the fact on the Big Cat Country feed, we appreciate you listening. We're going to take a short break here. We're going to come back. If you're watching the live stream on YouTube, we're not taking a break. We're just going to keep powering right through. So if you're listening to the podcast and maybe you're driving to work, maybe you're doing something like that, and you're thinking, man, I'd love to listen to this without a break, you can watch the live show on YouTube.
I'm confused as hell, so Jason, just tell me what to do.
We're taking a audio break, but not a video break.
Not a video break.
And we're back. So I know that was enthralling. If you're listening to the podcast, make sure
That
to...
wasn't even enough break for you to do anything, was it?
That's why I took a screenshot of the time so I could go back and put the break in. So if you're listening to the podcast, you just heard some ads, courtesy of Big Cat Country. Shout out to them. They host us for free. If you're not familiar with what hosting is for a podcast, it costs you typically around $15 a month to host your podcast. So the fact that Big Cat Country does that for us, shout out to you guys. $15 a month. I don't want to pay that.
No, not at all.
Shout out to Big Cat. Support the ads. Thank you so much.
There's some good articles on there, too. I'll give them that. The other podcasts suck, but they have some good articles.
I can't confirm nor deny. I've never read them. But whatever. Yeah. So make sure that you follow us on Twitter. We're at Jaguars_United. Make sure that you Follow our Instagram that I haven't posted on in months. But in the offseason, I get kind of spicy.
He does.
So when
We'll finally have a quarterback breakdown like 3 months after the draft.
Yes.
It'll be awesome.
when my real job chills out, I can do this way more. So it's going to be chilling out here soon. Thank you guys that are watching in the YouTube channel. Shane Watson says, I'll take your word on it. I hope so. Gavin Baker says, hell of a break. That's what we do, dude. We take breaks around here.
We're going to take a real break here in a little bit, I think.
Yeah, in a couple minutes, we're going to take a real break just because we got some personal things we got to take care of. Refills, bathrooms, things like that. But kind of getting into what you expect for the rest of the year. We are probably going to lose out. Mike Glennon does give us our best chance at winning. Would you rather see a guy like Gardner Minshew playing than Mike Glennon?
No.
Why not?
I mean, I love Gardner, but we know what he is. He might not even be on the team next year. Who knows? He might be trade bait for somebody who wants that type of guy as their backup quarterback based on the scheme they run. And honestly, dude, I think it was a punk move for him to not tell people he was really hurt until he was like, I can't even hold the ball anymore. I don't like that. I mean, you're the leader of the team. You got to man up at that point and say, dude, I can't do it.
See, I don't agree with you there.
Shocker.
I couldn't be further from that opinion. Because, look, I mean, this is Gardner going into his maybe only opportunity to earn himself a starting job.
Gardner's going to get
NFL.
paid regardless, man. He's going to be Fitzmagic, like we've talked about. He ain't going to be a starter.
The
ever.
only reason that he even got into the game last year was because Nick Foles had the injury. If it wasn't for that, he never would have gotten his shot. That's how it works. When you're a sixth-round drafted quarterback, when you're a guy like Minshew that's fought to overcome odds, you cannot pass up opportunities.
But he's had enough tape to guarantee himself a good job forever.
But this was his chance. This was his chance to show he can lead a team. I do not blame him for playing through an injury. Not whatsoever.
I think he hurt his chance by doing that. It tainted what people think of Gardner Minshew. Before that happened, everybody was way higher in Gardner Minshew than they are now. Now, I've heard nobody asking for Gardner Minshew to come back in. This is the first time I've heard that.
But if we were let's say somehow we had 7 wins, and to get into the playoffs, we needed 8.
Okay, put Gardner back in.
Would you put Gardner back in?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, and that's my point.
I guess. Okay.
I
see that.
He's a good quarterback, and I don't blame him whatsoever for trying to make the most of his maybe only opportunity in the NFL. Yeah, he might get a chance to be a backup somewhere next year. Maybe a team trades for him to be a backup.
He'll probably be the backup here, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, and we know that. Luton's not going to be. Glennon? Really?
Christian Charles says start Luton. Gavin Baker says I think we should start Gardner. Predator says they kept cutting to him on the sideline. He looks like he's just waiting to play again. LOL.
Yeah, he wants to play. He's a baller.
Yeah.
But we don't want to win, guys. Come on. Are we on the same page here?
If we were trying to tank, Luton. I agree.
Luton,
Robert
I agree.
Absher,
Luton is the key.
Luton's
He's the answer.
guy. If you're trying to lose, that was pathetic. His game against, I know Pittsburgh's good, but pathetic.
No.
If you want to lose, you put Luton in.
Luton is the answer this year.
Moon Illusion says, just got back from my closing shift. What's up, boys?
Closing what?
His closing work.
I get that, but where's he work? I want to know. I like Moon.
1050. I'm going to say he works at a
bar restaurant? Not bar. Not bar.
Not bar. I would say maybe a
Tijuana Flats.
Yeah, maybe he manages maybe a...
Or a grocery store? Potentially?
Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
That's true. Yeah. Corey Trent says, with no tank tops tonight, we definitely aren't winning anyways.
Hey, they've gotten way too close the past few weeks. That was part of my decision. I was like, I think the tank's doing the anti jinx thing on them. They're getting too close. Maybe this will work.
Corey's my brother, and we have a text thread going every game oh shit, we're gonna win.
Yeah, exactly.
Every week it's that.
We went up 9-0, and I'm like, screw the tank tops.
It could have very easily been 16-0 too.
Yeah.
Jeez, come on. Moon Illusion says restaurant part-time. Joey nails it, bro. Joey's got something.
I've been there. I've worked it. I've done it.
Yeah, I like it. Robert Atchard said Luton's best option to lose. Shane Watson says, I think Minshew is our best shot to win, but I want L's.
Yeah.
Moon Illusions.
We don't have a shot at the playoffs, and we're not 7 and something.
No. Moon Illusion says Minshew was begging Marone to let him play. He's like that kid on the sidelines. I coach football that sucks, and he's like, "Can I get in, coach? Can I get in, coach?" And you're like, "Dude, shut up! If you ask me that one more time, you're never getting in."
Never played.
I can imagine that's how it goes.
Yeah.
Christian Charles says, "Is it time for us to accept Justin Fields to Jacksonville?"
I think so. And honestly, again, I'm not that upset about it. I mean, this whole Zach BYU thing. Anybody listening right now, watching right now, did y'all watch that game against Coastal Carolina?
There's not a single person.
I watched 3/4 of it solely because I just happened to be done with what I was doing and I knew it was going to be on. It was my only chance to watch this dude. And it was like a rushed scenario, but you're playing Coastal Carolina and you're supposed to be the next big thing and talk about a lot of pre-drafts are putting him in second position. Dude, that guy sucked in that game. He looked horrible. Bottom line, he looked horrible.
Yeah.
So, I mean, take that for what it's worth. I do not want him. He might end up being a Pro Bowl quarterback in the NFL. It's almost impossible to tell who's going to do what, but I would go Justin Fields 10 out of 10 times over him.
Predator agrees with you. He says, "I'm on the Fields train 100%. I agree. I like Justin Fields. I think he's going to be a good quarterback." Kev B says, "Glennon is a bit more steady and consistent than Gardner, but Glennon's steadily mediocre. We got number 2 or number 1 locked, though." Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Glennon was making some
Did he make some good throws?
yeah, and the ball comes out of his hand it zips out of his hand. Even the throws that he was throwing into the ground to nobody, were tight spirals into the ground. And you're like, "Oh, man, we don't have a guy on the roster that throws like that."
No.
I
can see why the Bears paid him a bunch of money
Yeah.
on a short stint of him playing well.
Yeah, for sure. Moon Illusion says there's been some animosity between the Jets and Jags fans recently. Tensions
Yeah.
are rising. We're both getting elite quarterbacks, so let's just be happy.
I don't know if I'd mess with the Jet fans, man.
Jets fans Jags fans are we've had a pretty miserable run, but we live in Jacksonville.
Yeah, it's like country
we live
club
in Florida.
where you had to go to the old country club instead of the new country club. Jets fans, man, that's putting people in the river with cinder blocks on their feet.
Yeah, accepting to be a team that's bad is one thing if you live in Florida, but to live in New York.
I mean, it's like Buffalo B.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So there's been a question. I'm going to get Gavin. I think this is a good question from Gavin Baker. He says, "What position do you think we should draft with our second first-round pick?"
That's really tough because it's going to be who's going to be there, and isn't the second based on
The Rams.
So we really don't know what number that's going to be.
The Rams, they look decent.
Yeah, they're playing halfway good, so it's probably going to be 15 to 20. Is that kind of the estimate? At this point?
it's going to be 25 to 30.
Oh, that far.
Yeah. It's not looking good for Jags fans who were rooting against the Rams all year. Let's see, based off of a day ago, we were looking at a mock draft here, and let's see where the Rams are currently picking. According to this list and my internet, which is just crazy, I pay $100 a month for just internet, and I still can't get it to go as fast as you'd want it to. The Rams would be picking, or the Jags would be picking 26th. And they have us taking offensive tackle Samuel Cosme. 6'7", offensive lineman from Texas. He moves really well for his size, handles speed rushers smoothly with good length. I think you have to upgrade the offensive line. If you're going to invest into a quarterback, I kind of like that. I'm glad they even provided a guy who, I don't know who would be there then. That sounds like a guy who would be there.
Yeah.
It would be great to add a receiver to this offense, but with LaVisca and Chark, get a free agent maybe to come in here.
Yeah, I'm not going to pretend I know that far into first round where we're going to draft or what we should draft. Free agency, we've got to spend some money this year. If we don't overpay for a couple positions, we're going to be in trouble.
Yeah. There are some free agents available. Like I said, Brandon Cooks, going to be expensive, but if you brought him in here with
why not?
Justin Fields and DJ Chark, okay, now we got something.
Yeah, we got something.
Kenny Stills from Houston, great receiver.
Didn't Cooks from Houston too?
Yeah, I actually don't know if he's a free agent. I might have jumped the gun.
You're thinking
there.
Stills.
Yeah, I was thinking Stills,
All
yeah,
right.
for sure. Larry Walford, guard from New Orleans. I can't imagine him getting out of there, but there's a chance.
Do we really need it? Are we getting rid of Norwell? What are you saying? Is that?
Yeah, I don't think Norwell returns. The top two guys ranked free agents-wise, Earl Thomas, Clinton Dix, both safeties. We have huge needs at safeties. Eric Reed from Carolina. Rashad.
Old people though. Eric Reed's been on the list forever. Earl
Yeah,
Thomas has been forever.
that's true. But you're looking at 5 of the top 10 free agents are safeties. Tony Jefferson from Baltimore, Rashad Jones from Miami.
Right.
Safety's going to be easy to fill that you need. This is a good year to need safeties. Clayton Gathers from Indiana. So there's 6 of the top 11.
All right, so safety off the list. We'll be able to get one of those guys.
You're going to need to address interior defensive linemen.
Absolutely.
You do have some old guys, Dontario Poe. They got Marcel Darius on this list.
Is this from last year?
This list is from 2 days ago.
And
they have Marcel Darius still listed as a Jaguar.
he technically still is, though.
Yeah, he's the 14th best player on this list.
Not surprising.
Huh. Dontario Poe's kind of old. Cordy Glenn, I don't think he's going to be available. But it could, there's going to be guys out there. So you're right, though. They are going to need to spend money if they're going to want to do it.
They're going to have to.
Sav Jag says, should we draft a kicker?
No.
The kicking was just horrible in that game. Like, what was going on, dude? Like, how many extra points could a team, 2 teams miss in one game?
Yeah, but most of them were on the other side, right?
If the Vikings had a competent kicker, they would have won the game easily.
Well, I agree with that.
Dan Bailey, every Cowboy fan was like, oh, yeah, Dan Bailey, he sucks. We know it.
We're not the Vikings, though.
I'm just saying, that game was weird with kickers.
Lambeau has been hurt all year. He's going to be fine next year. He's
Yeah.
been absolutely perfect outside of being hurt. So, and would you really want to play this year? Would you really want to, rush that recovery back?
If you're a kicker, I don't think it matters. Maybe he wants to spend some time traveling, playing golf. Who knows?
Exactly.
Robert Adzard says if Ben Barch did okay at left guard, he's got a good push. The offensive line's been decent this year.
Yeah, the Vikings have one of the worst defensive pass outside of us. So, you can't judge that. That's the first time he's done anything.
Linder going down with an injury is kind of scary.
Yeah. He's overpaid, though.
Yeah, he's good, though.
He's solid.
Banks says we don't really need a wide receiver this early. This class is deep.
Okay.
That's fair.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I can't argue that.
Adzard says try Barch at left tackle at end of this year and see what he's got. Can't hurt. I think he played some tackle, didn't he? He played some left tackle when Cam Robinson was hurt.
This is the guy that was like a tight end, right? And
He was a tight end going into college. But
okay,
he played
but my
tackle,
point being
yeah.
is you want to move a guy from the position that he gained 500 pounds to play to left tackle? No.
I like Ben Barch.
I do too, but I don't think we moved him to left tackle.
I think he could give you what Tyler Shatley's giving you.
Well, maybe.
You want to take a quick little break? All right.
Sounds good.
Let's take a quick little break. If you're listening to the podcast, this is going to conclude our Tuesday podcast.
Oh, yeah. So it's going to get real from here.
Yeah. Make sure to check out our podcast channel. We're going to upload this second half on Thursday or Friday. So podcast people, thank you for listening. Thank you for doing the smart thing and not watching YouTube while you're driving. If you're someone like me who watches YouTube while you're driving, then we're just gonna take a couple minute break here.
You got one of those magnetic things, that
I look like an Uber driver sitting there watching YouTube while I'm driving. We're gonna take a quick 2-minute break, use the bathroom, turn the air down in here, get a refill.
It has gotten warm.
Get a refill, things like that. Thank you guys for being here in the chat. You guys are awesome. Give us 2 minutes. We'll be right back, and we'll see you soon. All right, welcome back to Jaguars United Live Show, or welcome to the Jaguars United Live Show. If you're listening to the podcast, this is going to be our Friday episode, or this is just part 2 of our YouTube live show. So if you have not yet subscribed to us on YouTube, shame on you.
Shame.
Shame on you. Make sure you subscribe to our channel. We're at 1.1K.
Ooh.
Considering we've only been doing YouTube for basically just this season.
Well, we went up 100 viewers, and it's like Jags suck. So that's even better. Like, how's that happen?
Can you imagine if the Jags were good? How many subscribers we'd have?
We might actually get a check.
That's why it's a shout out to the people that are in the chat all the time.
Yeah, these are the real guys,
Yeah,
the
you
OGs.
guys are real ones, and you know what? We always know who you are,
Yeah.
for sure. We appreciate you guys hanging around that are here in the chat talking about the Jags. I'm going to try to get caught up on everything. We'll maybe do some rapid fire here to try to
Yeah,
get
let's
some
do
of
it.
the
Just
comments.
run through some comments.
Okay, for sure. Should we re-sign Smoot?
Yes.
I say no. River Ross says yes, re-sign Smoot.
Dude, you can get him for nothing. Why not? He's been like a mainstay, and he fills in when he's needed. I mean, he does okay. Why not? He's not a trouble guy.
It's one of those things that I can't explain. I just don't really like him for this team. I think he could go somewhere and be better. And I just think, I don't know, just something about his play style here. He seems like a great rotational guy, and I don't even think he's going to demand that much money on the market. I mean, I think
you could pay him nothing, and he
Yeah,
wants
maybe.
to be here.
So maybe for that. River Ross also says Colin Johnson underrated.
I mean, he looked it last week for sure,
You can't really be underrated as a rookie.
especially that size. I mean,
Banks says Colin Johnson definitely has hands, but still lacks separation at the top of his routes.
he's not a speed guy, is he?
Not a speed guy, but in the NFL, you have to be able to create space, especially like he's saying at the end of his routes on like a fly route. Where I'd want to see Colin Johnson kind of improve his game is like in the red zone, and
goal line.
he's been good. Like he's been good there, but that's what he's known for, and I think he will continue to get better. And imagine with a quarterback like Justin Fields who can extend plays and use his legs to make things happen. Yeah, I mean, I
once
like
again,
that.
this guy I'd like to see just on the field more. Like,
Yeah, and I think he will. I think the stat came out about him getting like significantly more snaps than Chris Conley.
Well, Chris Conley's gone. That's the foregone
Yeah.
conclusion.
He's horrible.
I mean, you don't drop that many balls.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Chris Conley is in the same boat with me as Dwan Smoot. Say what you want to say, but that's just how I feel. Robert Adler said Christian Barmore D-line is a beast from Alabama. Yeah. Banks says sleeper D-end Jalen Phillips from Miami if he leaves this year. Miami U.
Hey,
So is that like the Miami University? Like
well, the U.
Ohio?
No,
Oh,
the
oh,
U.
oh, U. Gotcha.
The U.
Gotcha. Fields is like Watson. He will extend the plays for Johnson. That's literally what I said. Thank you,
Somebody asked
Robert.
me the other day what I thought of Fields, and I said top end Deshaun Watson. I think he's that player.
I agree. Predator says he loves the Colin Johnson pick. I'm glad that he's shining. Yes. Hopefully he takes Conley's spot. I think he will. I think we drop Conley like he dropped catches for us this year.
Best yet. Bam. Nothing
Thanks,
needs to be
dude.
said about Conley outside of that.
I like that, Banks. That's well said. Well said, Banksy. Moon Illusion says the OGs. That's us. That's you guys.
Yes.
Moon for always. I will say, like Moon needs to step up his comments tonight.
Yeah, he is kind of lacking.
I usually get like a good question, a good comment.
There's
like-
usually like 6 or 7 where like Moon's on point. He just got home from work though, man. He's
Yeah,
probably hadn't
that's
had dinner.
true.
Like
That's
he
true.
maybe hasn't had his like evening cavassier. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. Got to get in the mood.
Harley Morrill says great role player for the Jags. Colin is a beast. Yeah, I think he's talking about maybe Smoot being a good role player and Colin Johnson being a beast as 2 separate comments.
But I agree with both.
Yeah, I do
Jason
too.
agrees with one.
You know, I can
Dude,
be
how can you not like
I don't
Smoot,
know.
man?
I
That like
don't
makes
know
me
what
like
it
not
is.
want to talk to you anymore.
I don't know. It's not as a person. Like I like the guy as a person. I just
But he's played pretty good, and he's asked to play like 6 positions.
yeah, I could be convinced. I'm not hardline against him. I just something in me is just like not worth even
What
bringing.
would be like $3 million a year? I mean,
That's a lot.
really?
I mean, Colin was getting $2 million a year, so
And he sucks, and he's gone. So there you go.
Yeah.
You freed up $2 million.
yeah, that's true. Robert Adzert says Johnson's college videos, him and receivers competed, and we're betting on catching 100 balls out of a machine, 100-mile-an-hour balls out of a machine.
Ah, soft
Okay.
hands.
Yeah, I like that.
Butterfly with sore feet.
Moon Illusion says that we were all here before the Jags 2022 to 2030 dynasty.
Ooh. Now there's the comments we've been waiting for.
There you go.
There's some
Barry.
hope.
I like that. I would say 2022 to 2032, but that's just being nitpicky.
Hey, dynasty begins.
Yeah.
Like it.
Junior Jags Press says, I'm here late. Sorry. Don't be
Well,
sorry, Junior.
Hey, we're glad you're here.
Yeah, I mean,
It's really not that late. We're only like halfway through.
yeah, I'm a little hurt, Junior Jags, but
That's because he's all up in his emotions.
I am. I'm emotional. The Jets hurt me.
I mean, look at that beanie. He's emo.
look at this. I got the beanie on. The Jets
Well, it's-
hurt my feelings.
But it's not really on, though. It's kind of like
It's
up
half
on top of your head.
Y'all
So
don't
it's
know
like emo,
fashion.
emo as heck.
Okay. Y'all don't know fashion, all right?
I don't know fashion
Me
at all.
neither, to be honest.
Is Corey still watching?
Corey,
Is he out there?
if Corey's still watching, we're repping Corey's company here.
Yeah.
Joey's got the shirt on.
The OG? One of my
Convincify.
favorite tees.
I mean, we could safely say that they're a permanent sponsor of the podcast because of
All of our equipment.
all of our. This entire studio is financed by Convincify and Corey Trent. Shout out to you. Thank you so much.
Props.
Forever indebted to you. Ronaldo Gonzalez says, will Lawrence and Fields play each other in college football? They could.
Oof, they could. Absolutely.
And that would be probably the way the college
God,
football.
that'd be the best
You
ever.
know they're going to set that up. They do it every year. Remember they did it with Winston and Mariota.
Yeah.
I mean, they do it every year.
Well, they get to choose.
Right, exactly.
So why wouldn't they?
Right, why wouldn't you want to make the most money for the for the corporation that pays you?
Yeah, fair enough.
That's what we call a conflict of interest.
Or just money grab.
Do they pay the college football committee? They have to, right?
Yeah, you don't volunteer for that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
so-
got to be some quiche.
Yeah. Shane Watson says Smoot gets a penalty every time I see him play. Maybe that's it, dude. Maybe that's it. Maybe like that's the
Well, then you should-
unquantifiable thing I've been trying to say is the dude's like always getting penalties.
Then you should want to get rid of Jawan Taylor too, and the guy's gonna be good. I mean, all right.
That's fair.
That's a good point, though.
Predator says, well, our cap space is huge. I don't mind resigning Smoot, especially if he continues to do well.
That's my point, man. I mean, the guy's a good guy. He's a Jacksonville guy. Like, he just fills in. People
Yeah.
are gonna get hurt. Like, he can plug into
Yeah.
so many spots. Why try to find somebody else that can do that?
Harley Morrill says, can you believe that Taven Bryan played his lowest snaps the previous game and got paid $80K for his game check? Hashtag bust.
He also had a tackle and a half, I think. So it's probably.
No, I don't think he had any stats last week.
Oh, was it the week before?
Yeah.
Maybe. I mean, whatever, dude. That guy. Whatever. It's
He's
not
a
his
bum.
fault. Not his fault.
nice
Again, it's
guy.
not his fault. He's like a Blake Bortles, man. I'm gonna get mad about this because it's not his fault that he was taken out of high school based on his upside potential, his strength, and what he could become. He sucked at Florida. We drafted him way too high based on the fact that he's super strong and his upside potential, and he sucks in the pros. Good for him for getting paychecks and his college paid for. It's not Taven's fault. That's DC's fault, and he's gone. So don't blame Taven.
I would usually look for a way to argue with you, but I can't on this one.
No, I mean,
If anyone, he's laughing. And
Yeah.
He's like,
I'm going fishing, bro.
Junior Jags Press says Jets lost on purpose against the Raiders. Yeah, they did. We talked about that. I actually have an entire YouTube video that I put out last night where I ranted about that.
What?
We dissected the film of that last play. Go check it out on our YouTube channel. It's ironically, unironically, coincidentally, I don't know which word I'm looking for.
I think you nailed all of them.
It has the same exact name as this current YouTube video, but I'm gonna change it once I actually,
That's good.
do something.
I mean, I didn't think anything of it, honestly, until like now. So I appreciate you guys and Jason for like calling that out. I'm usually like the conspiracy theory guy.
Yeah, you are.
But-
I'm surprised you didn't get on this.
Yeah,
quicker.
I didn't
Yeah.
because like I honestly like I heard somebody from one of the major networks, ESPN. I don't want to name names, and they were like, I don't want to say because I'm not a conspiracy theory guy that they lost the game on purpose because nobody would do that. And I listened and I was like, yeah, that makes sense. But they actually did it on purpose.
Here's the thing that, and again, if you watch the video, but I'll just give you guys a quick recap. The one thing that kind of makes me be like, what the hell, is not only did they like blitz 7 and drop 3 into coverage, man to man against 3 receivers on the last play of the game, they had a quarterback spy with 13 seconds left in the game when they're on their own like 35-yard line. Why are you spying Derek Carr? What's he going to do? Run 75 yards?
Derek Carr's known for being a rushing quarterback. Once again, sarcasm, guys. Sarcasm. Come on now.
Even if he ran 20 yards and then out of bounds,
Yeah,
that would be worst case scenario. That would be the reason why you have a spy. You still have 1 play left from the 50-yard line.
Or you have a reason for a spy because you want to take another player out of the equation.
A spy. I mean, we circled the spy on the video. He literally. This is what he does on the play. He drops back 3 steps. He runs forward 3 steps and jumps. That's what the linebacker did on that play, and it's just like, okay.
Well, if you're that player, though, why don't you just like bust coverage because you know it's a sucky play call, and play football? I mean, you talk about the players playing on Las Vegas trying to score, and not letting them score. Why the heck couldn't they do it on that play?
Marcus May came out, former Gator, and had some critical words of Greg Williams, and he was fired the next day. So,
is this the same Greg Williams from New Orleans?
Bounty Gate.
The targeting?
Yeah.
Bounty Gate?
Yeah.
Wow.
I was going off on Twitter. If you guys follow my Twitter, I was going off on the Jets. I was very upset about that game. And apparently, Junior Jags Press was as well. He said, very sad the Jets lost. Jet Cam Plain says, what's going on? You both got the wrong shirts on.
I know.
If the Jags win this week, well, that'll be 100% on us.
Wow.
But it's 50 degrees here in Jacksonville.
You got some scissors? I'm about to cut this
That's
bad boy
really
up.
cold for me. I'm sorry, guys. I was cold.
Yeah. I mean, it was mainly that, but it was also like the Jags have been way too close to winning lately. So I'm like, the tank tops are kind of not working.
Like I said, the Jags have covered the spread 5 out of the last 6 weeks. They're doing better than Vegas thinks, which is the best way to tank, in my opinion.
Wow.
This has been the most successful tank. If somehow the Jags, I mean, I'm even cool with Justin Fields. This has been a good tanking year, considering all things considered.
Yeah, because we got some good players. We got some hope.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like you're just like crying.
Right. Predator says, shout out to my emo boys. I got you. Look, dude, I can't wear beanies very long. You got to do what you got to do. Harley Mortal says, I'm definitely subscribed. Thank you, Harley.
Thanks, Harley.
Moon Illusion says, Taven Bryan was good for that camera shot cameo of him dapping up one of the special teams players, LOL.
Well, that's,
All right,
that's
Moon,
deep.
You've stepped your game up, Moon.
That's deep.
I appreciate
like,
it.
I don't know if I could Google that and find a video of that. Like, really? Is that somewhere?
He said Taven Bryan needs to be traded for a 4th or 5th. I don't think anyone's trading for a Taven Bryan.
I think we would trade Taven Bryan for like one of those little John boats with like some bait and some
The
tackle,
beer?
man.
Like the actual 6-pack of
No,
beer?
no, not the 6-pack of beer. Like
No,
the
I would
actual.
trade Taven Bryan for a 6-pack of John Boat beer.
What about,
I really would.
You know, so
I would have DeJuan Smoot than Taven Bryan. That's all I need to say.
yeah, that's saying a lot.
It is. Robert Atchert says, with no stats in 2 games. Banks asks, who's betting Taylor gets a false start next week? That's not fair. He's going to get a false start every week. That's not a fair bet. The better question would be, who wants to bet over under 1.5 false starts?
See,
That's the real
here's
bet.
my problem with that is Juwan Taylor obviously has skill. Like, he's obviously capable of playing that position. I think he's going to be a good pro, whether he's a good pro in the Jags or not. But you have a head coach that's an offensive line coach. How is that possible? That somebody who is obviously good, everybody who's played the position says the guy's got the skill set, but he gets called for penalties all the time. That makes no sense. I don't blame that on Juwan. That's coaching staff.
And here's another thing that kind of concerns me. Juwan Taylor hasn't been good under Marone. A.J. Cann's gotten worse under Doug Marone.
He has degraded.
The Andrew Norwell has gotten worse under Doug Marone from when he was in Carolina. Will Richardson has never progressed after he was drafted. Cam Robinson has not gotten any better under Doug Marone. Ben Bartch seems to be playing like out of position, out of the wrong league. No one has flourished under Doug Marone. You're an offensive line coach, bro. Develop somebody. Linder's your best lineman. He was good before you got here.
Yeah, can't take credit for him. Boom.
River Ross says trade Conley and a 4th for Justin Simmons.
Who?
Justin Simmons, the linebacker from the... We got to look it up. I want to say the Cardinals, but that's Isaiah Simmons, who has been a bust this year, by the way. Free safety, Justin Simmons for the Broncos.
You trade a wide receiver for a free safety?
I think you can get a safety, like we talked about. There's a bunch of safeties this year in the free agency. A bunch. You can get somebody. Jed Camplain says, so who do you guys think the new GM is? I'm still on Bucky Brooks.
He wasn't in Jason's list.
He wasn't. But that was the list I read off of Pro Football Network. If I was giving you my actual... I like Bucky Brooks. I think that's a great... Why not?
He wants to be here, it seems like, which I like that.
Yeah. And you can't honestly, an NFL GM job doesn't seem that hard to me. I'll say it.
It shouldn't be, man.
I'll say it.
It really shouldn't.
I'll say it right now.
It's like it's just like every other management job there is, like being able to discern talent at a coaching position or whoever you need to hire to be around you to make you better. Like you should be able to tell if a guy's good or not. Like you got a track record, you got a feel, you got to it should be that hard.
I mean, if you're a guy that consistently hits in the late rounds, like I'll give you credit for that. Like you have a good scouting team that you've put together, but the hitting in the first 3 rounds should be kind of no brainer.
Yeah.
And like I've been following football for a long time, and most of the time I can identify a good NFL player in college pretty quickly.
But that's the thing. Like nobody expects you to hit on them every year. They just don't expect you to miss on them every year. I mean, that's the thing. Like you're gonna miss. There's gonna be guys that are one-offs that, you know what, didn't pan out. But when they all don't pan out,
you got a problem.
Yeah.
Moon Illusions, do you guys think we're winning another game? Bears or Colts, maybe? Joey thinks the Bears.
I think it's the last game of the season. Bears will have nothing to play for at that point. Neither will we, but that's a Jags thing to do. The Bears are not making the playoffs, man. They lost the last 5. You can look that up because I've been wrong on everybody's schedule so far.
Is it the last game of the year? I thought we played.
I thought it was the last game of the year.
I don't know. I'm not looking it up. The chat people, you can tell us.
Come on. Is it the last game of the year, guys? Help us out here.
I mean, I thought it was next week we're playing the Bears. Who knows? I'm all over the place.
I thought we had Tennessee next week.
It's been a long week.
Maybe not.
I think you're right. It's been a long week. Shane Watson, at this time, what do you think Minshew's draft value is?
No,
He's definitely upgraded from 6th round.
Oh, absolutely.
I think 5th.
Is Shane Watson related to Deshaun Watson?
Yeah, they're actually brothers.
That's why I was asking.
Yeah,
I see what you're doing here. I see what you're doing here, Shane.
Yeah.
It's like a 4th. High 4th.
4th, 5th. I think you're fair there.
Low 3rd.
Yeah. River Ross says, yeah, that's fair. He's probably talking about something I said.
Of course he is.
Yeah, because it's definitely not something that you said.
No,
because
definitely not.
That wouldn't make any sense.
Nope.
A couple people in the chat have reminded us that Justin Simmons is the safety for the Broncos, and that we're idiots.
That's like the Broncos' only good player. Now that you say that, he's literally their stud player.
I like.
No, he's the one that came out talking about the quarterback. Why are you doing this to us? That guy's an absolute stud.
I like Chubb. I like Font. They got some good players there. I'm not a huge fan of Drew Lock.
Okay, he's one of their 5 really good players. There's no way they're letting go of him for.
Yeah, I know. I think you're right. Sorry if we're backed up on the comments. I appreciate you guys being here in the chat. If it's a really good comment and you think it's a banger, just retype it.
I mean, he did go to Fletcher, so his reading is a little bit slow.
I got that Fletcher education.
He has a hard time getting through the whole sentences, man.
Yeah.
Just repost them.
Standard classes wasn't even an ACE or any type of advanced placement. I just straight up in standard classes, and I'm okay with admitting that. I really am. Socio says, do they really go with Bucky with how much is riding in this draft? I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
Yeah.
But see, I was going to bring this up earlier, so that's a good comment. There's no cap on how much you pay a GM. So this is on the owner. This is on Khan. Does he want the team here? Does he want it actually to do well? Or does he want it just to make money like it has? And that's going to be the question, because you can throw whatever you want to at a GM and pay him $1 bajillion. Look at the Raiders. And it doesn't hurt anything. It's all about your pocketbook.
I think that winning is good for the brand.
Of course it is.
So I think he wants to win. People blaming Shad Khan Shad Khan's got nothing to do with it, dude. He's got more to do with Lot J and the stadium than he does who's on the team.
That's kind of the problem, though. Is
I don't want an owner dealing with the team. I don't want a Jerry Jones.
I don't either. But
just hire a good GM. He tried with Tom Coughlin.
Yeah, true.
Tom Coughlin had a great reputation going into that hire.
Yeah, that's a good point.
He tried. Dave Caldwell, he went and got a guy that was young and up and coming from a Falcons squad under Dimitroff, who was really well known. He's trying. I don't want Khan making picks. I don't want Tony Khan making picks. Just,
all right, you won me over there.
Thank you, Joey. That means a lot to me. Everyone's saying that the Titans and the Jags are playing this week. Okay, sounds good.
Can you say that I was right, Jason? Since I just
You're
complimented
right.
you,
are
please?
right.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Charlie Boy says, is UCF Jaguar still alive? Yeah, I actually did a show with UCF Jaguar a couple days ago. You can go back on his YouTube channel and check it out. Give it a thumbs up, because it was probably the best show that the Jags fans had, because it was me and him. River Ross says, yeah, UCF hasn't posted. He's all right. He's fine, guys. He's fine. Shout out to UCF. UCF's the man.
UCF is the man.
We like
we
UCF Jaguar, yeah. Man, people, he's in California. You guys,
What?
You guys know a lot about this guy. I like it.
What's he doing there? Come on, guys. Let's get some more details. Some dirt.
Moon Illusion says Noah Font, LOL. I meant Noah Fant, okay? I'm sorry. I'm
bougie. Font. You talk about you compliment him on like the hoodie or the freaking beanie, but you can't say Fonte.
But you guys just aren't cultured. I went to Fletcher. Y'all
Exactly.
don't know anything. All right. We're trying to get caught up on these comments here. I appreciate you guys being here. William Colvin says, I want Theo Epstein. Rock the boat. What we have done in the past hasn't worked.
Can you imagine? Why not?
I've seen some people talk about getting some baseball analytic guys in here.
That would not be the worst thing in the world.
I feel like you have to.
You'd have to ask Khan for his entire checkbook, but that would not be the worst thing in the world.
I don't mean to break off from this comment, but Jed Camplane just cracked me up here.
Apparently. He
said, man, the ticker is flying by tonight.
Exactly. Thank you, Jed. I said that when we started. I was like, dude, I feel like I'm falling over to the left because it's going so dang fast.
I haven't changed the speed in months.
I know, but you did. Obviously now it's like turbo.
Thank you,
faster
Jed.
than it was when it started.
Thank you, Jed, for completely distracting me. Haas All says Jason for GM one day.
Jason could have done a better job than Caldwell. I almost guarantee it.
Moon Illusion says, why don't both of you hop on with UCF? We will one of these days.
That'd be fun.
I usually hop on with UCF on a night when Joey's not here just because they put out more stuff. I like to give Joey his full night, his full, Joey.
My availability is not the best at times.
The best ability is availability, and the fact that you're available is what we're all about here.
I appreciate that.
Kev B says, imagine if we had a real quarterback under Coughlin. The roster would have praised the results of the strict. Okay, I like this, Kev B. I'll read your whole comment here. Just the way the ball bounces in sports sometimes. If the Jags had a quarterback and the Jags win a Super Bowl, how much different is Dave Caldwell and Tom Coughlin viewed in this city with one call?
But the thing is that all depends on who made that call. Like, was it Coughlin saying that we need to keep Bortles, or was it Caldwell?
I think it was Coughlin. I think Coughlin was running the ship when he was here. And think about it. If the ref does not call Miles Jack down, the Jags 100% win the Super Bowl.
I agree.
100%. That's a good point.
It is.
Alternate universe. It's like a Rick and Morty episode there.
But ifs and buts, coconuts, how's that saying go?
Exactly.
Something like that.
Robert Adrit says, football is not baseball. Khan has his son. Yeah, I mean, he runs soccer analytics. Is it much different?
Epstein's not even a baseball guy, though. He's like an attorney, mathematician. So,
That's a good point.
He could do it.
That's a good point. Kev B says, I'd rather have Robert Saleh for GM as a wild card pick as long as he got Fields too and didn't draft 90% defense. I don't know if Robert Saleh would be the GM. He could be the head coach, but he's the 49ers defensive coordinator. Jed Camplane says, I would like to see UCF join you guys. He did join us when he came. When he comes to Jacksonville, he always stops by. We have a video on our channel, and he does too, of when he came to Jacksonville. He came over and did a video. I was actually thinking that'd be great to do. But he doesn't live in Jacksonville. But if he ever comes through, he's always welcome. Predator says, we have 4 picks in the first 2 rounds. I hope we get a GM that can straight smash this draft. We will be looking good, then I'm hyped for the future.
I mean, our next 10 years depends on it. No pressure, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's well said, Predator. Well said. Charlie Boy, who was the third host you guys had on the show? I forgot his name.
Well, we had 4.
Yeah, Charlie.
James is here thinking about that.
Yeah, James is here thinking of, and James, we could probably get on like once a year.
We need to bring him on soon.
He's got some free time coming up. We could probably get him coming.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well,
he planned a tea time with me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I mean,
what's happening there? Like young babies getting a little older?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's kind of getting into that
I think
time.
Like after Christmas, maybe?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, we're playing golf now? Okay.
Cool. James is fun as heck, and he's funny as heck. So
anytime we can get James on here, we will. I mean,
plus he makes fun of me the entire show, so you guys got to appreciate that.
James started this whole thing. This was his like.
No, this is James's baby.
Yeah, this is it. I mean, he was like, guys, let's do a podcast, and we were like, all right.
I was like, I've never done anything like that in my entire life, but bring me on.
Yeah, no, James is awesome.
Yeah,
hope we can have him on again. Moon Illusions, ticket is kind of. Yeah, ticker is kind of quick. The text on the top right bleeds into the MJD jersey.
Man, you're just sucking with all that, man. They're like calling you out right now.
I appreciate the feedback.
Guys, for the record, I have nothing to do with any of that.
Appreciate
all I
feedback.
do is show up and talk. Which, take that for what it's worth.
Yeah. I think they can tell. Eddie Clutch says Miles Jack wasn't down. Moon Illusion says ticker. Yeah, I got that. Predator says, yeah, where has he been? He's got family stuff. River Ross, who do we get with our second first rounder? I think Kyle Pitts is out, and there's so many positions that need filling.
That's a great question. I think for our next adventure, that needs to be really talked about because that's a tough one, dude. I don't know.
The answer is best available player.
Yeah.
Which sucks because
the Jags put their best available player like somebody nobody would draft.
And Taven Bryan was like at one point the best available player.
Yeah.
That's the part that's kind of probably ruined it for everybody. But yeah, we'll see. There's a lot of things that could go that way. It depends on who's available. It depends on what free agent moves they make, where they want to spend their money. It depends on who they hire, who the GM is, who the head coach is. There's a lot of variables.
Basically, way too early to talk about that.
Yeah, but we'll get there. Predator says, I miss James low-key, LOL.
I think Predator might be James at this point. Actually, it's way too late. He's been in bed for like 2 hours.
That's a good point.
Right.
I would have agreed with you, but you're right. I miss James. The fact that you even know who James is respect.
Well, he
to
did
you.
until we told him. He remembered him. Now he's using
he
his
just
name
hates
like he knew him.
I think he just hates us that much. Josh Burns, My Heart Will Go On song killed me. Okay. Josh, yeah, that was if you watch our YouTube show from last night, I played My Heart Will Go On as we played the Jets film just because I wanted to.
Is this like an acoustic? Like
I had an emo night last night. I know you couldn't tell.
Wow, I'm gonna have to watch that.
No, I didn't play it. I played the YouTube video.
Played it.
Yeah, no, I didn't bust
That's
out
what
the
I'm saying.
guitar.
I thought you got it out. Like did like a solo. Wow, acapella. Man,
This is one of the best shows I've ever had here in my life. Maybe one of these days we'll bust out the guitar for you guys. We'll play some My Heart Will Go On.
I don't watch us or myself just because I feel like that's kind of like a DB move, but I'm definitely watching the one from last night. I'll be watching it on the way to work. Well, I don't go to work because I'm working from home, but I will watch that tomorrow.
I've been playing. Just watch it and tell me what you think for sure. Eddie Clutch says I was depressed ASF last night, especially living in a Jets home. Got trolled. I feel sorry for you, Eddie.
Yeah, my bad.
I have a buddy I watch the Jags games with, and we've been rooting really hard for the Jets, and we've just been crushed. They've had chances to win the last 4 weeks. They're the only. If we were in the same position, we'd be doing the same thing. Going to overtime.
They're doing it right
They really
up until
are.
the last play of the game this past week. Like they're trying to lose, but it just looked like it badly.
Yeah. Harley Morrell is going to come out of left field with this, and I think this would be nice to talk about. He says, if I had to compare Kyle Trask to an NFL quarterback, it would be Big Ben, but sneaky athletic, LOL.
Have you seen Kyle Trask run? Trust me, guys. Don't get me started on the Kyle Trask train.
And Joey's a Gator guy.
Dude,
so.
I've watched more Kyle Trask football than probably anybody not working in football. I love the guy to death. I think he did it right. Dude, he stuck it out. He worked on his game. Like, he waited for his shot. He didn't jump in the portal and try to jump a school that wasn't as good as Florida just so he could play. Even through high school, he did the same thing. And I love the fact that he's putting up numbers like he is. Like, he's phenomenal. Gators are back, and I love it. I just don't think he's going to be a good college quarterback, man. He's more Dan Marino 25 years ago than he is Roethlisberger. Have you seen that guy run? He doesn't. His arm strength nowhere near Roethlisberger. I mean, I don't want to knock the guy because he's got us back, but look at the goal line stuff we do. We don't run the ball in the goal line anymore. We throw freaking crossing patterns to a wide receiver or pits for a touchdown. His numbers are inflated. They want him to win the Heisman, and rightfully so, and I hope he does, but no way I want the Jags to take Kyle Trask.
Joey spit some hot takes tonight.
Dude,
I
have everybody asking me about him because I'm a Gator fan. So it's I don't want to knock the guy. I appreciate him, but I'm scared.
I appreciate that take. And at this time, we're going to take a podcast break.
All right.
So we appreciate you listening to the podcast. If you're listening to the podcast, thank you. Support these ads. If you're watching the live show, we're not going to take a break. We're just going to keep on rifling right through it. But we do need to put one in. We're contractually obliged.
I mean, I feel like we're going the 2-hour mark at this point.
We're at 74 minutes.
Okay, good there.
Right, which would be a good time for a second break in our – because what we do is is if you listen to our podcast, I break these up into the two parts. I put out one tomorrow, and I put out one on Friday, just because.
Once again, I don't listen to them, so.
Yeah, no, that's fair. So thank you guys for listening to the podcast. We're going to take a quick break on the podcast. YouTube, though, hang tight. We're still here, not going. We do need to have maybe 5 seconds of silence so that I can look back at the audio recording and know where to put the break. Be cool with that? And that's enough time. I know I said 5, but I really only need 1. If I see a big gap there, then we know where we're at. Thank you guys for hanging out here. We're back on the podcast. I know this is hard for people to believe that are listening, but this is going to be Friday afternoon, second half of the podcast here. If you have friends and family that don't really watch YouTube, maybe they're older and they listen to podcasts, you send them the podcast. You can go on the Big Cat Country feed, Jaguars United. We love what we do. Shout out to you guys that are here. Like usual, toward the end of the show, we have the most viewers, as always.
Always.
Because you guys have nothing better to do than to talk about the Jags at 11:36 at night.
Or talk about us. I mean, it kind of goes both ways.
Yeah, that's okay. We can handle it.
Well, I mean, not you so much, but me, I guess, maybe.
Joey's a little sensitive.
I am. I'm getting emo like you are, I guess. I've been sitting way too close to you.
It rubs off for sure. Robert Adser, we were talking about Kyle Trask and quarterbacks. He says he won't make it in the NFL as a pocket passer. Junior Jags Press says O-lineman is obvious because we draft Fields, so we got to protect him. Look at Bengals. We don't want him to happen to Fields. That's a good point.
Yeah, that's a great analogy.
I like that, Junior Jags Press.
Great comparison.
Nice. Well done. Well done. William Colvin says the Jets should lose a draft pick because of that defensive call at the end. I agree. That's how we started the show, William.
But I'll continue to disagree. There's no precedent for that. There's no bylaw in the NFL. I mean, maybe the Players Association could step in and say something because it's got to hurt the players that are on the Jets because they look like crap. But there's no precedent for that.
Okay. Humor me here, Joey.
How do you prove it?
Humor me here.
Okay, I'll humor you.
Okay. What if a player on the Jets had something written into his contract where if the team wins
3 games,
that he gets a contract bonus?
Okay, that's the most ridiculous contract ever, first of all. But I see your point, and that's why I said if the Players Association decide to step in, that's the only way there's going to be some kind of penalty for that. But how do you prove it?
That's a horrible call. You brought up the stat.
And they fired their coach the next day.
He's a scapegoat. He's a scapegoat.
Okay,
the Jets should have won that game.
I get that, but they're probably going to fire him anyway because they sucked. They took that opportunity to lose another game, and there's no way to actually prove they did that on purpose. You got to have some recording, some mic to whatever, some paper that was handed to one of the coaches saying, call this play. There's no way to prove it, man.
We all saw it. We all know what happened.
Yeah.
Okay. At some point, you have to just go with what happened.
Yeah, but you can't they counter lawsuits. It's not how life works, man.
Don't throw reality in my face. I want to live in La La Land.
I know. But you're right. I will say you are right.
Moon Illusion says trivia.
Ooh, that's going to be tough.
Pretty good at trivia, Moon. We'll see. What team did the Jags beat to win their first playoff game ever? I think I know this, Moon, and I think the answer is I'm torn between 2 teams. It's either the Buffalo Bills or the New England Patriots. It's one of those 2 teams, though.
I was going to go with the Oilers.
The Oilers? No.
Yeah.
It's either the Bills or the Patriots. You got to give us the answer now because we've got some people guessing. We have Bills guess. We have the Falcons guess. Denver. I think it's the Patriots. I want to say it's the Patriots, but it could.
Come on, Moon. Bust it out, man.
Yeah, it could be. Buffalo Bills 1996. Oh, man,
Jason,
I was
that's
wrong.
impressive.
Yeah. Congratulations. Everyone in the chat. Oh, it was the Bills. Yeah, I'm going to type it too. Yeah, here. I'm going to type it too. Watch this, guys. I got it right. Yeah, I did it. It's the Bills.
Did James get that right?
Appreciate it. That's a good trivia question.
That's a good one.
I have a trivia question for you guys.
Okay.
Because I have a little trivia thread with my friends that we do. And no one's going to get it right.
Well, he can't answer because he's probably...
No one's going to get it right, and I'm going to...
No one? I think
no one's going to get it right. Okay, the top 3 quarterbacks in their first 13 games of passing yards. Who are they? I'll give you 2.
Pro or college?
Pro. Top passers in the first 13 games in their career in the NFL? Number 1 was Patrick Mahomes. Number 2 was Andrew Luck. Who was number 3 in passing yards in their first 13 games in the NFL?
Jameis Winston.
Incorrect. You guys can guess all day, and I guarantee you, if anyone gets it, I will send you a Jaguars United T-shirt, but no one's going to get it. So we'll answer that in a little bit. So, yeah, we all missed that question. The Bills, I mean, that's a good one. I like that. Bradley Williams says we need a tight end. The Penn State guy is really good, and he should be there at the Rams pick. And besides quarterback, our tight end position is horrible.
How many games has Penn State played this year?
Penn State has not been good this year.
No, they suck. I think
they have
like
one
5
win.
Games.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I agree. We need a tight end, but I think we're cursed on tight end. I'm just going to admit we'll maybe never have a good one of those. Let's fix every other position and go from there.
Yeah. Someone got the question right, but they didn't technically get it right, so I'm not going to give them credit quite yet until the right answer appears. Until the answer appears.
How do you only partially get it right, but get it right?
Yeah. Full Metal Optimist got it right. Nick Mullins. Nick Mullins is the third. Jed, I'm sorry, Jed. I'm not the one that didn't write his name. I'm the one that answered the question.
Okay, what did Jed say?
Jed said the quarterback for the 49ers tonight. That could have been anybody. That could have been Colin Kaepernick. It could have been anybody.
Really, Jason?
Trying to go down that path tonight or no?
Hey, come on. No, not the Kaepernick. Not giving him credit for getting it right. It's only one quarterback that played for 49ers.
Hey,
so
Jed,
sure.
my bad, bro. It's trivia, not like vague trivia.
Fair enough. You would not have won a free pitcher at Hooters for that answer.
Yeah, exactly, for sure. Well, I think 81 minutes is probably
it's beyond our threshold.
Everything that we have in us.
It gets ugly from here usually.
36 people here watching at the end. I appreciate it, guys. You guys are awesome. I love Jags fans. Full Metal Optimist. It's cool to give that guy credit. Yeah, we'll give him credit, but
honestly,
I'm just
told
trolling.
you who Nick Mullins was.
Jed's had some good comments tonight, so I kind of wanted to troll him a little bit. We'll definitely be here next week. I'll probably do a show with UCF Jaguar at some point this week. We've been trying to me and UCF have been trying to do a show every single week. Like things don't work out.
He's in California. That's part of the problem.
Apparently, he's a world traveler.
They've shut off all the internet in California due to COVID.
Yeah.
So it's
hard. We'll probably do a show this week. Joey and me will definitely do one next week. I'll probably do one Sunday after the game. We just love being and talking to you guys about the Jags. Can't wait until next season when we have triple the people in these chats because the team's actually good.
Yeah, because everybody's gonna love Trey Lance.
And when there is when there are bandwagon fans, trust me, we know who you guys are, for sure. Thank you guys so much for being here, for listening to the podcast. Shout out to you guys. We love you guys too. Support the Big Cat Country feed. Jed can't play. I was hoping to see you in Illinois last week, Jason. Guess I missed you. I was in Bloomington hanging out. I actually was on the plane.
Was it Bloomington in Indiana?
Illinois. On the plane home, on the plane to Illinois, I sat next to James Robinson's cousin, who was here watching him play. What are the chances of that?
What are the chances you would have gotten that deep into the conversation to find out that's
the dude looked just like James Robinson? It took me a second to I thought it might have been James Robinson when I was wearing a Jaguar hoodie, and I was like, dude, this might be James Robinson.
Okay, I'm sorry. I know we want to end here, but I got to go deeper on this. Who started the conversation? Him
he did.
Asking. Oh, exactly.
Yeah, no, he did.
Him starting it because you had a Jags hoodie on.
Yeah, no.
Not you thinking he looked like James Robinson.
But he did look just like him. And after he talked to me, I did have to look it up and make sure it wasn't him because the dude looked just like him. And I was like, okay, this is not him. But he's his cousin. He came down here to watch him play.
Good for him, man.
Yeah, my girlfriend's family lives literally a mile from where James Robinson played college football. Nice. So got to see that field again, as always. It's a good time.
He's legit.
Thank you guys so much for being here. Joey, thank you, man. The highlight of my week, talking Jags with you.
That's absolutely the best.
So I appreciate it. Guys in the chat, shout out to you guys. We love you guys. Make sure to subscribe, follow, Twitter, Instagram, all that crap. You know what to do. We'll see you next week. Joey, we'll see you next week.
Hopefully.
As always.